Hey agents, thanks for tuning into this video. I know it's been a while since I've put out anything, but I got a question out recently about raid builds and what kind of builds you need. So I'm not going to discuss dark hours because for the dark hours you just need one. You just need basically for some of the bosses you need one tank and the rest can all be DPS. You don't need a healer. Operation Iron Wars is a little bit different. You need a bit of a mixture between boss 1 to 4. You need a few different things. So let me just briefly go through it. So maybe help out someone that does not know about these things. If you're a veteran, I'm sorry, I apologize. You should know all of this already. But there are also newer players coming into the game that don't quite know what is required. This is a healer build that I would recommend, that I've used a couple of times. The times I've been a healer. So the crossbow here, specialization. From survivalists, you get 15% outgoing healing additional to what anything else that your build is doing. So that's why I chose that. The BTSU glove you can use to overcharge. You can get a lot of healing and a lot of extra damage and skill haste and all those kind of things for your team. You're not doing any damage yourself really with this build, not much. That's not the focus. It's focused on healing. The only one piece helps here for 20% repair skills. You just put repair skills and skill haste everywhere. I mean, skill haste is not so important anymore. You can have something else in here, but the last time I played Operation Iron Wars, this is what I used. 4P's future initiative here. That's still the best, that in my opinion. Because you get your tactical superiority from ground control when you use the backpack and the chest piece. I've put out videos about this already with more detail, but just all of them skill, repair skill, and in the mod slots as well. Because if you use something like this chem launcher, the chem heal launcher, if you look at the ally repo is 1.5. That's more than a DPS guy has armor. You should have the same armor as your 726. The same here with the restorer hive, that healing 454 one tick, so with 2 ticks you have at full health. So this is actually still a really good healer build in my opinion. With the capacitor, just because you can do a little bit, you can kill maybe an NPC here and there, but you won't be a death dealer. But capacitor, very good choice. You don't need to use the armor if you don't have one. You can use anything with in sync on it. And pistol doesn't matter. So that's a healer. If you want to look at something like a tank or more tank-ish, not really a tank for keeping yourself alive. You can run around blindly like an idiot. But there's a couple of choices here when it comes to the tank build. All of them have the Liberty in it. The Liberty, you basically you do a couple of body shots, you do a headshot if you can manage to do it, and then you can also repair your shield that way. Technician, so you can have the Artificer. The Artificer, the idea behind that is it heals your shield constantly. Every couple of seconds it gives a burst of health to your shield. Because the idea with this build is you are distracting on some of the bosses. You might have to distract them, like on boss 3 specifically. There's a section in boss 4, Iron Wars, you will need to have a shield. You don't not need, but I mean it just makes things a lot easier. Even on the first boss you can even use it. Maybe not really, but maybe in boss 3 and 4 this will come in very handy. For me, I just think as a protection of the elites, 3-piece Foundry Bulwark. I have never actually had much success running the 4-piece, but there's different things you can do here. Either Protector, if you're running Protector in Vanguard like I'm here, perfect Vanguard. And Protector basically, as your shield gets damaged, it gives a bonus armor to your team, so your shield will take a lot of damage with this build, because like I said, you're distracting the boss most of the time. Perfect Vanguard. Every time you pop your shield, every 25 seconds, pop your shield, you get bonus armor to your team. They get half of your armor as bonus armor. So it's debatable if you want. It depends on your team. I mean, what they want you to run. I mean, the other choices here are a Tardigrade. That's basically like Unbreakable for everybody. That's the other choice. And then the chest piece, yeah, Protector. That's still the backpack Protector. That's the best thing I can think of. You could have the Forge in here. You can take this away with Motherly Love. It only gives you the reason why I have it here is for that 10% skill health. It's 10% additional health to your shield. But you could have the Bulwark in there. You can swap this. You can have the Forge instead if you want. Bulwark shield. You can get the health up to 17, 18 million. You can get it that way. You can get the regen better. You can get this Artificer, the skill repair. The skill repair is what you're after. You can get the skill repair a lot higher. The higher the skill repair and the buff amount is, the more the constantly it will heal your shield. But it depends on person to person how you want to play it, what your style is when you're playing tank. Okay, cool. We've covered that now. I'm not going to show you a hazard protection one. There's only really one boss that you need hazard protection from, or maybe the second one as well. There's a lot of fire involved. It depends how you guys actually do the bosses, what your tactics are. It's still really popular. I use this. This is the same one I use most of the time when I'm playing Dark Hours. Crossbow, because I'm the guy actually on the Razorback. I need to use the crossbow to shoot open the vents for the grenade. So that's mostly the reason why I use it, but I just run through the whole raid with the same build. The Fenris here, basically Fenris, you've all seen builds like this before. One Fenris, my Contractor's Glove over here, my Fox Sprayer for damage target out of cover, my Siska to keep my crit chance up, Grupo give me extra crit damage. This basically, the Memento is basically here because you could use anything else. You could use maybe Vigilance, but the drawback for me always are Vigilance. As you'll be taking damage quite often, and then you lose the buff of Vigilance anyway. So another good option here, I could actually use Companion, because this little Minder Seeker will follow you the whole time. Because why I use Unbreakable most of the time, because a build like this actually should have enough damage. You don't actually need something like Spotter. Spotter is another good option. You could use Spotter. You can use Companion to roll around behind, so that ball rolls around behind you. You get your extra damage from there. But I use this because it has armor core on it, armor core, weapon core, and a skill tier. I'm not very bothered about kill confirmed here. It's only because of the cores. So that's a build like that. If you look at the PvE version of that. Okay, PvE, this will actually do a lot of damage in a raid because it has contractors for damage to armor, and you have the 2-piece Hawk and Adder damage to armor, 1-piece Fenris which helps you out with your assault rifle. You could actually, you don't really need this Grupo here. You could swap it out. You could have a swap. You could swap it around with a Coyote Mask even. The Siska you can take out. You can move Hawk and Hatters there and put your Fox Sprayer knee pad in there. So there's quite a lot you can do. I mean, with the Spotter, you can either with Spotter, you don't have to use Technician. You can use maybe what's it called, Gunner. You could use Gunner to get ammo constantly, to regen your ammo, get faster reloads, all that. But then you actually need to sacrifice a skill slot to have the pulse. So that's why it's quite easy. It's easier to use a Technician because you have this linked laser pointer. Anything you point to, it automatically will be pulsed. So then you do the extra spotter damage to it. That's the idea. Companion, I have Companion with this Fixer Drone. The Fixer Drone is really there to help me, to heal me the whole time. It basically, at this level, the Fixer Drone actually almost does nothing. It's only there to keep my Companion active, that 15% extra damage. So that's something I can recommend. That's a spotter version. Like I say, and the only other thing I'll cover now, like I said, I won't be doing a hazard protection one. The hazard protection, basically, you want Spotter, you want Companion, or even Vigilance. It depends on you. But like I said, the Vigilance drawback, as soon as you get hit from the side or the back, your Vigilance falls away. You don't have the damage anyway. You might as well use Companion. Companion with another skill like a drone, Fixer Drone or something to keep it up. Yeah, there's options here. I think I've already gone through the tank, haven't I? Yeah, I think I have. I think I've done that already. But basically, yeah, that's your shield. Like I've said, there's a shield build. There's a shield build you can play around with. I gave you the options there. There's one of the DPS options. If you have to play Razorback, like I said, you can change. You can swap things around. You don't have to use Unbreakable. You can use Obliterate. If you have enough crit, you can use Obliterate. You can You can do that, and they have showed you the spotter, which you can either use, you can activate it with a skill, or you can just use the laser pointer and sacrifice 5% crit chance for the extra damage you're going to get. And obviously you can have glass cannon in there. That's obviously the most damage you're going to get, but glass cannon, as you know, is very risky, and in raid you actually want to, especially you want to keep everyone alive as long as possible and dealing damage, because if someone is down, it takes a lot of effort to get them back up. And especially in raid you want also have Revive Hive. That's the other thing I forgot to mention. Especially yeah, Revive Hive. Where is that now? Yeah, that's actually a Revive Hive I have there. It's not a Restorer, that's a Revive Hive. So Revive Hive, if you're not in the healer, if you're not a healer, Revive Hive is critical. The other skill you can either use a Decoy, a Turret, anything to draw the NPCs away or attention from yourself. Because if you're running a level 0 or level 1 heal, it's not going to be enough anyway. You might as well just use a Decoy or something to distract the NPCs. And that's basically it. That's what I have for raid builds. That should give you a couple of ideas. Yeah, if I had 6 more people, I would actually be doing raids again every week, but alas. Thanks guys, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Cheers.